Well, here we are on the top of Mount Horeb, also known as Mount Sinai. I got to be honest with you, when I got here, I thought I was going to talk about how the ways in which God meets with us and set aside special time and special places. But after the hike up here, I can't help but think that when God met with Elijah and Moses and who knows who else on this mountaintop, how not only does space matter, but what also matters is this: us taking a step towards God, us working hard on our end, us doing our part and going towards Him. Don't get me wrong, it's God who shows up. It's His voice that we listen to. It's the whisper to Elijah. It's the laws and statutes He gave Moses, but it's for us to show up. And here's what I mean. When you come to this space, in this place, what you begin to recognize is when you look out all around you, you begin to see what is out there around us. And this is the picture. Everywhere you see, you can see you're at the top of all the mountains around us, all the mountain range. And for you to get here requires work and effort. And I can't help but think that sometimes God wants to speak to us. And when He wants to speak to us, He wants us to go to places and situations that are uncomfortable, that stretch us, that push us. And maybe, just maybe, when we go to those places, just like Elijah, we'll hear His still small voice. Just like Moses, we'll be sent on our way with a new way of living that we've never known before. And so here's my challenge for you and for me and all those who may hear this. What would it look like if you and I gave our lives to following after God in such a way that we went to the places that were uncomfortable for us, that were difficult, but when we got to those places, we heard God's voice? And so here's the hope for you and I today. Moses and Elijah and all the other prophets, they were men and women like you and I. And so what might happen if you and I opened ourselves to listen to the voice of God and for us to follow after Jesus in the way He calls us to follow after Him? And so next time we talk, I hope you'll find that these words of encouragement matter when you go through difficult times and tough days, that God meets us in those difficult times and those tough days, and He shows up and He's close to us. And He wants to speak to us in such a way that we can know what it looks like to know Him. And so may you find that in this beauty that we see all around us here, in the midst of the world in which we live, in the midst of all the questioning we may have, God's grace and God's love is sufficient. And He comes to us and He meets with us. And the God who is the creator of all that you see, He loves you and He loves me. So may we accept and receive His grace.